Om. Om. अंतर्ज्योति बहिर्ज्योति प्रत्यग्ज्योति परात् परः ज्योतिर्ज्योतिः स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिः शिवोऽस्म्यहम्. I am the supreme light of awareness, illuminating the outer world of objects, inner world of thoughts, and deep sleep state. I am divine light of the nature of auspiciousness, Shiva Swarupi. Om Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru is the creator, Guru is the preserver, Guru is transformer, Guru is the absolute Lord himself, within creation and beyond. Salutations to that Shri Guru, the most auspicious who removes the ignorance of samsara. Om Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru can guide us to the supreme knowledge of that which pervades all the living and non-living beings in the entire universe, namely Brahman. I salute such a Guru. Sir, Narayana Samarambham didn't come. Narayana Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara. Beginning with Narayana, through Adi Shankaracharya in between, and up to my own preceptor, I bow with reverence to the entire tradition of preceptors. Beginning with Sadashiva, through Adi Shankaracharya in between, and up to my own preceptor, I bow with reverence to the entire tradition of preceptors.
Thank you, Padmaji. A bow down and welcome all the Divine Atma Jyotis to today's AVSC session, the first one on the Aparoksha Anubhuti. Welcome all. Hari Om Rupa ji, Hari Om Shilpakala ji.
Hari Om Vijay ji, Hari Om everyone.
Hari Om sir. Hari Om everyone.
Hari Om Shilpakala ji, Hari Om Rupa ji.
Hari Om.
Wonderful.
Hari Om Mega.
Padma ji, Hari Om, Haripa ji.
Oh, wonderful. Hari Om Ramakrishna.
Hey, Mega.
Very nice. Very nice. So, good. So, today is the first day of the Manana of Aparoksha Anubhuti. So, when we have started any scripture studies, the first one that we started was, as far as the Vedanta is concerned, is Tattva Bodha. We, of course, are listening to Prabhuji's talks. That is the basis of understanding. So today, what we can do is, we can take the first question itself, which is, what is Aparoksha Anubhuti based on, what you have learned from Prabhuji's talks. So the first talk covers multiple topics, but the key topic is what is Aparoksha Anubhuti. So as you might have heard Prabhuji in the talk, this is not a shloka by shloka kind of talk. It is more of he's taken a group of shlokas and he has spoken about it. So the first talk covers 25, the first 25 shlokas, and various topics come in that. And the starting topic is what is Aparoksha Anubhuti. So we could begin by first each one of us sharing our view on what is Aparoksha Anubhuti. This is how I was feeling. Any other suggestions? Is there any other way that you would recommend that we go about it? I hope all of you have been able to go through the video.
I have not, so maybe I will join from next week to share my understanding. But today I will listen and maybe I will try to get it from the session.
Excellent. But do you have any points about approach?
No, I think that's fine.
How about Padmaji, Shubhaji, Rupaji, and others? Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Deepaji. You want to say something?
It's fine, sir.
All right, excellent.
Sir, Shilpa here. So I've not been able to go through the video
Yeah,
as well.
no issues. So today you can also listen in.
Okay,
And
sir.
where you feel appropriate, if you have any points to add, you can add. Or if you have questions to ask, you can ask.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. Then we'll begin with the fundamental question. What is Aparoksha Anubhuti? And also we can contemplate on the question, why should we study? Why should we study a scripture like Aparoksha Anubhuti? So two specific questions. What is Aparoksha Anubhuti? And why should we study Aparoksha Anubhuti or any such Vedantic scripture? Who would like to begin?
Sir, could you put it in the question format, like how we did it in the Tattva Bodha? Like you can add the questions to a slide.
Okay, we'll bring it up.
So Paroksha, Aparoksha, we have gone through, or
Are you asking a question or are you making a statement?
I'm just trying to come up. Paroksha.
All right. Okay, so this is the first question. Is this okay, Padmaji?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Wonderful. So I have a feeling you're raring to go. So why don't you please begin?
Yeah, I'll start. Yeah, but Sarvananji also is having the same raring to go feeling.
Yeah, I'll wait. You're prepared, so.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, so for the, as far as the first day one video is concerned, Guruji has summarized the shlokas from 1 to 25. So through the video, we get to know that there are 144 shlokas in total, which he has split and grouped and taken it into the 7-day talk that he has spoken about. So the first thing that we know about this text is that it is written by Sri Adi Shankaracharya, and it is one of the Prakarana Granthas. The basic being the Tattva Bodha, the first beginner level text which we completed, and the second level is what is comes under the second Aparoksha Anubhuti comes under the next level of talks. So in one word, what I understood from the talk is Aparoksha Anubhuti means self-realization. That is all. Is what I mean, again and again through the talk, Guruji emphasizes on the fact that it is nothing but self-realization. So the concluding statement of all the granthas is Tattvamasi, which is same for this as well. But in this, Sri Adi Shankaracharya has given a more detailed explanation of why it is so, why Aparoksha Anubhuti is self-realization. So there is no direct English meaning for the word Aparoksha Anubhuti. So the only thing we can come about for the meaning of this is very close to the word. That's all. There is no exact meaning for the word Aparoksha Anubhuti. So like you mentioned, Sarvananji, we already learnt about Pratyaksha, Paroksha, and this one is the Aparoksha.
Yeah.
So if we have to, if I have to just touch upon what this is, Pratyaksha Anubhuti or Pratyaksha experience is what is available to our sense organs. So it is my own experience, which is also like we would say that it was a direct experience. We can say it as direct experience. The reason why we have to talk about Pratyaksha here is in the talk, it is Aparoksha Anubhuti is also mentioned as a direct experience of self. So, but there is a difference in the direct experience that we are referring to in Aparoksha Anubhuti and the direct experience that we are having from the Pratyaksha form, because that is Pratyaksha Anubhuti is because of the sense organs and because of the mind giving a color to it. So it is something to do with our conditionings and all the various factors that we have accumulated over many lifetimes or this lifetimes will come into the picture in Pratyaksha.
Pratyaksha is again indirect, but
yeah.
Pratyaksha
But then Paroksha is something which is indirectly
Sorry for interrupting. Sarvananji, can you repeat what you said?
No, so in Tattva Bodha, what we learnt is like the knowing can be direct or indirect. So the Pratyaksha comes under indirect, right? So where like the Anumana, Pratyaksha, and Paroksha, right? So and the Aparoksha alone comes under the direct.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's
broadly there is a direct and indirect.
Yeah.
And in the indirect, Pratyaksha,
which is with the sense organs.
Anumana, they're all
yeah.
But I think here he is making the reference to Pratyaksha as direct because we have to understand the difference. That what is coming through the sense organ and the mind is something which we might think is direct, no, because it is our own experience. Whereas the Aparoksha Anubhuti is what is the direct experience of self itself, in which the sense organs or the mind is not involved. It is beyond the mind. That is what he is trying to explain. Maybe that's why he took that example. Paroksha is which is indirectly available. So it is not available through our sense organs. For example, say you see something, say you see the Himalayas, or maybe you go to a place, you go to America, you see America. I have not gone there personally, but you describe to me like, oh, this is how America is, that is how America is, all this. So I have an indirect knowledge now about America, although I have not been there. So it is not coming from my sense organs, it is coming from somebody else's word of mouth, we can say. Yeah. So it is somebody else's experience which has been given to me. So that is an indirectly, that is Paroksha. So these are the two ways or two types of experience we have of life generally. That is what everybody experiences. Now there is one more way of experiencing life which is called as the Aparoksha. In that Aparoksha, if we split the two words, where it is Aksha is referring to the not just the eyes. Aksha means eyes, but it is not just referring to the eyes. So it is actually more than the eyes. It is not just indirect, but it is it direct then? It is through my, is it not? It's not through my sense organs also. So I cannot say it is Pratyaksha also. Okay, and it is not through someone else's experience also. I cannot understand this. So it is not Paroksha also. So what is it then? That is what we have to understand through this text.
The first example usually that comes is like, how do you know you are there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It's direct.
Yeah. So Guruji will say one beautiful thing in this, which I want to make a reference to. Like he would say that if there is something going on in the outer world, say in the filmy world or in your serial world, or even the next door, you want to gossip and get to know so much. You are so interested and looking forward to the information from that. Then why are you not interested in something that is concerning yourself? How excited you should be when you are talking about yourself, the real self, that is, who are you? And when the scriptures say you are Brahman, how big is that? So how interested you should be in that. But are you really interested that much to know about yourself? So that was one thing that really it made a lot of impact for me in this video, because he says it in such a beautiful way. You immediately connect to it. Like, yeah, if I don't know who am I, then what am I really doing here? How many years, how many janmas, I don't know, but what have I been doing here? Because even the day-to-day things, we struggle so much, we would have struggled so much for many lifetimes without knowing who am I, what am I doing here, why am I even here, all these things without knowing, we would have ended up, so many lifetimes. So that was one statement which, one question rather, which he asks in the video, which really makes you think. So in this text, basically, Atmanyana or self-realization is explained with a lot of clarity. So we have to understand that. So the closest words that Guruji says for Aparoksha Anubhuti is intuitive experience. It is still not correct, but he says that that is the closest you can come to. The other thing is, it is not a sensory experience. It is not coming through the senses. It is beyond the mind, and it is a deep inner experience. Deep inner experience. One another word that he uses is apperception. Perception is related to sense organ. So this is not related to sense organ. So another word that is commonly used in the in the English version of the Vedantic text is apperception. So wherever we read about that, we can refer to, we can connect it to this, is what I understood. So the next thing that is, in our world, there is always a duality. We are the subject, and all the things that we are experiencing.
Sorry for interrupting. Sorry for interrupting. Can we all contemplate on this first question and then continue further?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So according to you, then Aparoksha Anubhuti is self-realization, direct perception.
Yes, sir. In one word, yeah.
In one word, okay. And the purpose is?
The purpose is, that's where I was coming to this, that we always experience a duality in the world. That is how we have experienced life till now. So the moment we start understanding that there is no two, there is only one, or there is only when there is an ekatvam between the subject and the object, where the subject and object merges, then that is the place where, I mean, self-realization happens. So you don't have that separation itself. So I have not yet explored like how that is possible. That part of the video I have not yet come to. But what I understood is the duality is coming only because of the separation of I am the subject, I want to experience something, and I feel a lack within myself. So I want to take in the object and put it inside me more and more to make myself bigger. So the object can be anything. It can be a house, it can be some happiness, it can be health, it can be multiple, or it can be the entire world, because the entire world seems very large compared to who you think you are as in self. So in this context, you are seeing the self is very small and limited, and the world is infinite. There are more things than what your mind can comprehend. So you are wanting to consume that entire thing to fill that lack. So I think once you know that you, the world, and everything is one only, and the subject and object gets merged, then I think that lack will disappear, is what I think he is trying to say. So once the lack disappears, then this wanting to consume will not be there anymore. So everything will become, I feel, is from the service point. Well, then what can I do for others, or what can I give will be the question. Because it is always now, what can I get? What can the world give me? What can this person give me? What can that person give me? That is our question all the time now.
Just one moment, please. Yeah. So what you're saying is the study of this scripture will help to remove that fundamental desire to consume more and more. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it might help, sir, on the way, because the main thing is only self-realization. This text is bringing clarity as to how Atmajnana is, what is Atmajnana. That is the clarity that this text is bringing. So on the way, obviously, you will have all these things, right?
Okay.
I mean, with learning Tattva Bodha itself, I feel that there are a lot of internal changes happening within us. So if it is a next level text, then obviously there would be more clarity to what we have already, what we have understood till now, and to further our understanding from there. Deepen it rather, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Padmaji.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Who would like to go next? What is Aparoksha Anubhuti according to you? And what is the purpose? Why should we study?
So, as I said, the moment I heard this word, I remembered our learning in the Tattva Bodha about the experience part. Right? So, so we can know things either like indirect or direct. Right? The point here is when you learn something indirectly, there is still that there is something in between the truth and what I'm getting, how I am learning it. and this the the one in between the truth and me can still my mind can still question, is that the one in between can I trust? Okay. And it can be an instrument as well, in which case the instrument itself is questionable, whether it's 100% showing the truth or not. Right. So, and the medium being either our sense organs, which we know that sense organs are not perfect, or through someone. We have many great teachers, realized people who said, I have realized the truth and this is the truth. Right. And like we have deep respect for them. And like I say, you know what, if he's saying, it has to be the truth. But then it is still not as effective as knowing by myself. And the example I will quote is again, if somebody asks like, do I exist? And I say like, you know what, you can say whatever you want, but I know I exist. And it is unquestionable, and there is not a small percentage of doubt in that. And anything else, like I would say that, you know what, from what I know so far, this is it. But things can change, like the blue sky or mirage or the earth looking flat, all those things, right? But for the question of do I exist, it's a direct experience for me, because I exist, everything else I am able to talk or answer, do, right? So here, for me, the direct experience, what I feel we are looking into is, I'm looking into is direct experience of the truth. I've been learning, but can I experience it directly? And when I experience it, like there is no question about it.
Can you dwell on experience itself? What is an experience?
Yeah. So the experience is still, yeah, I would say it's still, there is a knower and knowing. And when the and this knower and knowing becomes one when like the example of I exist. There is no knower and knowing. It's one and the same. Right. So the truth has to become like that. The truth cannot be separate. Correct. So the truth cannot be separate. And I think when just for the English words, I use direct experience. But then like when I directly experience the truth, I become the truth. I think I would put it that way. Right. So there is no separation still. Right. And I think that is the which is finally what we will is referred to as self-realization. That the guy, this person has realized it because he has become that. Right. So as we have seen, the Vedanta is one study where, unlike the other studies, where like the subject remains and the learner remains different. If I learn physics, I know physics. I don't become physics. But Vedanta is one thing where once it changes the person to the because it is about the person, right? It is about me when I'm learning Vedanta, right? So yeah, so that's how I'll put it. Why what is the purpose and why we should study?
Okay, very nice. Thank you, Sarananji.
Yeah.
Who would like to go next? Rupaji?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Rupaji. Sir, can we say that then experience is me wanting to make the object into the subject?
Not wanting also. Wanting is again.
No, experience is wanting only, no, desire only, right?
No. Desire comes before experience. You can desire to have an experience. Desire cannot be experience.
Desire is not experience. What I'm saying is, experience means then I make the object into subject. Is that what you're saying? It's not I want to, but I make the object into the subject. Correct? Is that what you're saying?
Again, you don't make, you become. Because when you are trying to make, that means you still exist and you are trying to make.
Yeah, no, I'm telling in duality only, Saravanaji. Talking about duality only here. I'm not talking about, see, there is a separation, right? When you're experiencing, there is a separation always. That is why when Guruji is saying in Aparoksha Anubhuti that it is a direct experience, I want to know what kind of experience he is referring to here, because for me, what I understand by experience till now through Tattva Bodha or whatever we learned is experience always involves two people, right? Subject and object.
Take this question. Do you exist?
Sorry? Can you repeat
Answer the
that?
question, do you exist?
Yes.
How did you experience it? Did you use any
There is no experience, no, that's what I'm saying. I know it beyond my mind. I mean, even when I was a child, say I was someone who was dependent on so many people for food, water and everything, even then I think I knew that I am there, right? That is different. The one that you're talking about is the existence itself. What I'm saying is when we talk about experience, there is always duality, right? There are two people, the object and the subject, the knower and the something to be known, the experiencer and the experienced. There are two, right? Atma, anatma, right? Sir, is my understanding correct?
Yeah. So, what is the particular question, Padmaji? When you, what is that you are trying to ask?
No, I am saying that when we say experience means, when I refer to the word experience, that means there are two people involved, right? And why I'm mentioning, why I'm asking this question is because in the talk, Guruji also says one statement, that direct experience of self. So I want to know that this experience, what he has mentioned there, should be different from what the other experience that we have understood till now, because there is duality, but definitely what he is referring to here will not be dual.
Okay. So therefore, it is incorrect to translate Anubhuti as experience.
Yeah, maybe that's why he said that there is no exact translation.
No exact thing, right? So therefore, it is, let us take the same question that Saravanaji asked you now. Do you exist? So for that, you have a unwavering conviction, and that conviction is coming because you
from
just
deep
know it.
within.
Yeah, you just know it.
Yeah, it is just there.
It is just there, right?
Yeah.
Only when probed, you used your instrument to answer that.
Correct. Otherwise, there is no question, no doubt.
No doubt, right? So you have a, you don't need an evidence, but you just know it. It's a knowing, and that knowing itself is within you. So now it is becoming an experience in the way we use the word experience, because whenever we say experience, have you experienced eating a mango? Have you experienced Kantara movie?
Yeah, there's duality.
Yeah, so there is a something else outside of you The general way we use the experience in such context is, have you consumed it? That is the general understanding, right? Have you eaten? Have you
Correct.
seen? Have you heard? Or have you gone to that place? So all of this, please notice, there is something that has to experience. What is that has to, what is that we are using to experience? The senses only. In all these examples, you are employing the senses to experience
Correct.
something. Okay. Now here, Aparoksha Anubhuti is without any of this, without your senses, you can answer, I exist.
Correct.
That is self-evident. So it is not in the realm of the normal experience.
Correct.
However, this self-evident I am there is confused with so many other situations, right? It is
No,
consumed.
I didn't get this
It is-
sentence.
Huh,
What
it-
are you?
So for example, it is superimposed. So
What is superimposed?
instead of realizing that I exist, when I say I exist, what is that I get confused about when I use my mind? Because I am constantly seeing my own body and I'm constantly seeing other bodies. I superimpose I as body. I superimpose I as
Mind.
ideas. So the superimposition is what I am constantly dealing with when I describe myself. I am a mother, I am a wife, I am a...
Yeah.
Right?
Got it.
So this superimposition is the what we generally explain as, I had a wonderful time with my son. So the mother aspect in you had an enjoyable experience. I loved watching that movie. Such a nice explanation of, for example, nice explanation of Indian history. So the Indian in you is enjoying that. So for any such experience, there is a certain role, and that role is consuming something through one of the five senses, either through the eyes, ears, or whatever, right? Or in some cases, it may be fully involved. When you're traveling, you're fully involved. All the five senses are involved. So that is the normal realm of our experience in life.
Yeah, so experience is consuming the object, right?
Consuming the object, right? That is how we define.
Because of the lack.
No. Don't yet jump there. Now, why are we craving for experience is where that explanation has to be understood. Why am I craving for watching Kantara? Why am I craving to get married? Why am I craving to have money? Why am I craving to get a particular name and position? The craving is coming because the role that I've created feels a certain lack. How does it feel a certain lack? Because it looks at the world and somebody comes and asks, have you eaten mango? If the role hasn't eaten mango, role feels, oh, mango is something that I've not eaten. Maybe I have to experience it. Without that, it will be incomplete. So a reason comes into the mind, and that reason is what you becomes your desire. I have to eat mango, I have to eat mango, I have to eat mango. So now you go into action. Nothing wrong, absolutely fine. But the fundamental connection is lost, that I am not any of the roles. I am currently experiencing through a given role, but I am separate from the role. That clarity, lack of that clarity causes the whole cycle. And that is what the cycle of I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, and I am the knower. So this is the fundamental bondage. So when Aparoksha Anubhuti is given as a direct experience, it is not at all to do with any of the role. It is not at all to do with any of the sense-based experiences.
Not the material experience.
Yeah. It is not even an intellectual experience that you and I are having now. Right now, you and I are having a discussion. It's an experience. You know, you're hearing some sounds and you're imagining certain things. Yeah. It's an experience in the normal way of describing it. But this experience is making you and me question the fundamental understanding about what is an experience. Who is the experiencer? What is the nature of the experience? Why am I constantly seeking experiences? These fundamental questions are coming up through this experience. So let's say, you know, I've always failed in math exam, and some good teacher comes and has given certain clues, and this time I go to the math exam, I get good marks. Then suddenly my own illusion that I'm a very bad math student, I cannot learn math, has been shattered.
Gets removed.
Gets removed. So it's just a removal of misunderstanding. So therefore, Aparoksha Anubhuti is a recognition of the true self.
Yeah.
It is not an experience of the true self.
Correct. Yeah.
Because you
That is already, you are already that. Yeah.
it cannot be an experience. You are not an object of experience. In the discussion right now, we are bringing you as an object of discussion. But that's only a limited to understanding and to remove the misunderstanding. So
Yes,
in
sir.
that sense, the word experience has to be understood here.
Yeah.
All right. Rupaji, shall we listen to you? Are you there, Rupaji?
I think she is busy doing something. Shall I
Okay.
continue?
Yes, Deepaji.
She's there. She's there.
Okay. Rupaji has come back.
Yes, sir. Shall I share my understanding?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah. Aparoksha Anubhuti here is self-realization. It is a direct experience of our true self. And three types of experiences are discussed here: Pratyaksha, Paroksha, and Aparoksha. Pratyaksha is the experience that we have through our senses. Whenever we see something directly, which we see or feel or experience using our sense organs, is Pratyaksha. And Paroksha is that is not using our own senses, but we have heard about it from someone else or seen it maybe in the TV or anywhere, like I have never been on a flight, so I have just heard about it. I have never seen snowfall. I have just seen it in the TV, but I have never directly experienced it. So that is Paroksha. And other than these two, there is one more way of experiencing life, that is Aparoksha. Here we don't use we cannot use our sense organs and experience it, or nor it can be experienced when someone tells us about it. It is the experience of our true self, that experience is Aparoksha Anubhuti. And Guruji calls it as an intuitive experience or deep inner experience, and he also uses the word called apperception, which means this cannot be experienced through our sense organs. And he also calls it direct experience, maybe direct experience of our true self. I have completed only till here, Vijayji.
Very good, no problem. But can you share your view on why we should study, or what is the purpose?
Why we should study? So actually we never bother about experiencing our true self and how it will be. So I think this scripture will tell us more about that experience.
Okay.
Our true self is the witness of whatever we do, but we have never directly experienced it. Maybe when we meditate, we try to understand or see through. We try to go to our inner self, and I think this text is explaining about that experience only.
Okay, but why should you study it? What is the purpose for you to study it?
Yeah, as Padmaji said, the lack in us, that we are incomplete, to understand that we are already complete and we are not incomplete, we should study this scripture.
Okay, now that you're making that statement, so you come to understand that we are not incomplete. You are not incomplete. Then why should you continue to study?
But we'll have to, because I have not realized it yet.
Okay, so there's a difference between these two. And what do you feel the difference is?
Yes.
And what do you feel the difference is?
I'm not able to realize what actually is there in me. I feel that is absent, and I'm trying to find that in the outer world.
Okay, so based on what you're hearing in discourses and in satsanga, you're becoming aware that you are already complete, but you're saying, I don't feel it.
Yes, I have not realized it yet.
Okay, is your reason why you feel you need to study this.
No, this scripture will give us nice insight about what actually is self-realization.
Even Tattva Bodha gave.
This may be much deeper than that.
So are you saying that there is something else that will open up by studying Aparoksha Anubhuti?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very nice. Anything else you want to add, Rupaji?
No, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. Deepaji?
Yes, sir. Actually, I had this question when you asked what is the purpose of studying Aparoksha Anubhuti, because Prabhuji here says it will give us clarity about the self-realization. But even Tattva Bodha said that it will give us clarity about self-realization. I actually have that question still. Why should we study Aparoksha Anubhuti? It may be that it'll give us more clarity than Tattva Bodha.
So are you asking a question or are you making a statement?
No, I'm asking a question and asking you if I am right.
Okay, so can you phrase your question completely?
What is the purpose of studying Aparoksha Anubhuti?
Hmm.
And Prabhuji mentions that it gives us clarity about self-realization, but he said the same thing when we started Tattva Bodha.
Hmm.
Then why should we study Aparoksha Anubhuti when we are going, I'm going with Tattva Bodha, again, why should I study Aparoksha Anubhuti?
Very good. Excellent. Excellent.
One more question to add that.
Yeah.
What is the difference between Tattva Bodha and Aparoksha Anubhuti?
Wonderful. So we study physics. When do we start studying physics? Maybe 4th grade, 5th grade. I don't know when exactly this is introduced. But certain basic concepts are introduced. And then as you go further, those concepts are elaborated. When you're studying in college, you would have noticed that it is the same fundamental thing, but now with a lot more elaboration, with a lot more detailed explanation. Because you are, as a child, every action as an equal and opposite reaction was sufficient enough. You would have heard it and you would have remembered it, and you would have, the teacher might have shown you certain examples, the ball bouncing. So you may accept it. But you go on and, as your life experiences evolve, you notice certain things which may not necessarily fit in that context. Just as a joke, a good husband knows that every taunt by the wife doesn't necessarily have to be replied back. So for every action, there is no opposite reaction. So that is the truth for a happy, healthy, peaceful family life. So there the physics law breaks. So what to do? There is a contrary to the normal experience. There is some example. So now either what my science teacher taught must be wrong, or the way the model has been understood, what I have understood about that has to be clarified. So when we say we are studying something, right? Please understand, we are never really studying the thing. We are always studying something about the thing. Let me clarify that. So for example, what is this?
Mobile.
Mobile. What is the purpose of this?
Mainly to communicate.
So, that is one viewpoint about what is called as a mobile. But for somebody, it may be, taking photos and capturing their life memory. For somebody, it may be browsing and looking at all the videos and learning about the world. For somebody, the software that is making this whole thing work. For somebody, this is giving them their roti kapda makan because they're selling this.
For children, it to play.
Sorry?
For children, it would be just to play.
For somebody, and for parents, it is to get angry when children are playing. So, see, same thing. But can any one explanation make it complete? Can I give one explanation by which everything else is covered? Impossible. It depends upon the viewpoint I adopt. So when we say we are studying, we are always studying a certain aspect of a certain thing. But the thing is so infinite. I and you may say that, oh, we have found everything that is there to talk about mobile. If you look at it from the standpoint of the mobile, electronics engineers, electrical engineers, metallurgy engineers, so many scientists, mathematicians, so many contribution of so many years or so many people has gone into this little thing called as a mobile. Okay. So impossible for you and me to study everything that is there to study about just a simple thing called as mobile. Okay. So this is now, as a curious college student, I still want to go deeper into one aspect of it, right? So this is how generally we see study in life. Okay. However, when it comes to self-realization, so there are 108 Upanishads. Then there is Bhagavad Gita, which has 700 shlokas. Then there is Brahma Sutra, which is such a huge Nyaya Grantha. So if you look at it even from a study standpoint, then impossible. Tattva Bodha itself, we have taken close to 2 years. And, there may be still a lot many more questions that come up even if you just take that Tattva Bodha. When you look at it as a book, it's only about maybe 18 pages, 20 pages. So now think about, 108 Upanishads, then Bhagavad Gita, then Brahma Sutra. So then what are we studying there? And why are we continuing to study? So there, I like to invoke the example that Prabhuji generally gives. When you have to light fire with some wood, what matters when the fire comes? What matters the most? It's the quality of the wood. If the wood is very dry, a simple spark will burn it. And when it burns, the job is done. There is no more anything more to be done. However, if the wood is little wet, you have to dry it. And for drying, you may have to keep it in the sun. Maybe it is so wet that you may have to keep it in the sun for a longer time. So there is no way to know that. So when it comes to scriptural studies, what is the purpose of a scripture? Scripture is not there to give you more knowledge. The very word Vedanta means that. Vedanta means essence of the Veda or end of the knowledge. Means what? It is end of the seeking. Means what? When will any seeking in life end? When you feel complete. When do you stop eating? You're very hungry. And when do you stop eating? After 2 chapati or some rice and whatever, you feel, enough. So there is some sense of trupti that has come. So you say, enough. No more the same object can give the same trupti. So you've reached a place called trupti, fulfillment, enough. But the problem with the physical hunger is, it once again manifests. It once again comes after another 3-4 hours. That's a different issue. Like that, there is a deeper hunger. There's a deeper hunger, which is, I am less in life. And I become more by getting something. When I was a little child, maybe I look at somebody going in the car, I wish even I could go in the car. Maybe money. I lack money. I am very poor. I lack money. When I have a car, I will be okay. Yeah. Or I lack a degree. When I get a degree, I'll be okay. I lack friends. When I have friends, I'll be okay. Everybody is getting married and everybody has a child and a home and everything. I lack that, so maybe I will be okay with that. Like that, the logic of life is always about, I lack something and I have to gain something and I then become okay. So I'm not okay is the fundamental hunger. I'm not okay. Why I feel I'm not okay? I look at my body and obviously I look at other bodies and I say, oh, this nose, if only this nose was right. Look at all our heroines. They do so much of gyration just to get something right. Ilya, they go through all those operations, all those money spending for what? Just a little twist in their nose. Somebody comes and says, your nose is little twisted. They're not okay with that. They want that to be okay. Then they may say, okay, I will be okay. Like that, this not okay is there. And all my life, I search for how to make it okay. And I search for how to make it okay in that thing, this thing, that relationship, this relationship, in that experience. Maybe if I get married, I'll be okay. That experience was okay as long as the honeymoon period was there, which is only usually 3 months. And after the 3 months, then you have the Raurava Naraka. So there is all that, you have the stories of life through which you're constantly passing through. Why? To be just okay. All your seeking, nothing wrong with the seeking. It's absolutely fine to feel trupti. I am fine, I'm complete. Only problem is the direction of the search. So, what is problem with the direction of the search? The direction of the search is this object, that object. There is never an end to object because the world is infinite. So I will never ever experience the world completely.
Yeah.
So then, okay, am I caught up then? Then is my life doomed? Because I have to constantly keep expanding. I have to constantly keep experiencing. Like how that Bharadwaja Muni apparently wanted to study Vedas. After 100 years, he was not done. He requested the Brahmaji for another 100 years. 200, 300, 400, like that, it kept on going. Still not done. And then Brahmaji, he asked, how much I have studied? You have studied maybe one small minuscule of the mountain. So if the mountain of life, if life is like that mountain, then my experiences are like these small, small grains of sand. So when will I ever say that, okay, I'm okay? When will I ever come out of this? I'm not okay, I'm not okay. So that is the purpose of Vedanta. That is the purpose of scripture. It is not there to give you more and more knowledge. So therefore, why I should study another scripture? Not really necessary. However, I still have certain gap in my inner realization. So then I get a new viewpoint to look at from. Everybody said, at the top, there is a flag and the flag has 3 colors. But from wherever I was standing, I somehow could not see the 3 colors. I somehow could not figure out, is it 3 colors? I could see somehow the flag, but not the 3 colors. Then somebody says, no, come here. I can clearly see. You're seeing from a wrong standpoint. Come here. So you just shift gently. You go there and you see, job done. When the job is done, then there is no more work. But till the job is done, take new viewpoints. Nothing wrong.
That was also written by Shankaracharya, isn't it, sir?
Yeah, Tattva Bodha is also by Shankaracharya. Yeah. Does that bring clarity to the question you asked, Deepaji?
Yeah, what is Prakarana Grantha? Prakarana.
Foundation. So it is like the way I like to think about Vedanta is like in our outer world, we see gadgets. We see so many gadgets. We see so many nice things come up. And all of that is done by engineers. And how do engineers do what they do? They use principles of science. So what is science? Science looks at our world and derives certain meaningful relationship, a repetitive pattern. It observes. Whenever I drop a ball, it bounces. It observes. And it creates a certain repetition. Okay, whenever I drop, it is bouncing. Okay, so then if I drop a mobile also, will it bounce? It bounces. But there is something else that governs that bouncing. Something called as an elasticity and something called a gravitational force. So like that, science gives us a model, a way of thinking about the phenomena that is happening around us. And engineers exploit those phenomena or those understanding and create objects, create conveniences, isn't it? That is the engineer and science. Likewise, Vedanta is a science of the self. Vedanta helps me realize. Here I would not like to use the word understand. Helps me realize the most fundamental question. Who is this who's going through all these experiences of life? Who is this engineer, or who is this doctor, or who is this lawyer, or who is this scientist, or who is this whatever, because in life we are doing various things. Who is this fundamentally? So it gives us a model to understand that deep fundamental question, to know your true nature. Why? Because of not knowing the true nature, all along you have suffered in life. Your anxiety, worry, tension, irritation, frustration, fears, all these are stemming from a wrong understanding about who you are. So therefore, Vedanta's focus is not to give you more knowledge, to make you a better person. It rather says, you are not a person. The source of your confusion is you constantly think you are a person. The source of your frustration is, or fear is, you think you are a person. So it brings a model to make you question those deep beliefs. And it doesn't say, believe whatever I'm saying in Vedanta. It puts your day-to-day experiences, your day-to-day life with a different perspective. So in that sense, this is a foundational science that one should master before they can master anything else in life. Master in what sense? Deeply realize the essence of it. Then only whatever they do in life will be meaningful. Is that bringing clarity, Deepaji?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, foundational text. So there is a lot of, when you're creating science, right? When you're creating science, there's a lot of back and forth that has to happen in order to arrive at a certain principle. See, simply, one cannot say, like how, you may know a little bit about Einstein's theory of how energy and matter are connected. So there is a explanation. E is equal to mc square. It's a formula. Energy is nothing but mass. It's directly proportional to mass. And the proportionality constant is twice that of the speed of the light, c square. Okay. So that is what the formula says. Simply, you cannot say that formula. You have to have a step-by-step approach to arrive at that formula. And at every step, whatever the next step you're taking has to be acceptable. Acceptable to what is the question, right? Acceptable to a certain what you and I may agree as the basis of our agreement. So like that, in the world of science, when anybody publishes something, it has to come out of certain principles. See, there are certain foundational principles called as empirical principles, which nobody can question. Energy can be neither created nor destroyed. There is no point in asking why it is so. If you ask a scientist also, he will say, it is so. I don't know why it is so, but it is so. But now, if it is so, then let me explain you what is happening with water. When you boil water, as a child, you may ask, oh, water has disappeared. He will simply say, no, 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 water hasn't disappeared. You know, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. Water has now become vapor. Oh, so water became vapor. So water did not go away. It just became something else. Okay, now I understand. But see, the basis of that understanding is acceptance of the premise that energy can be neither created nor be destroyed. So like that, science builds one from another. It gives you a step-by-step approach to look at the reality of the world. What Vedanta does is similarly help you step by step through your day-to-day experience, realize about who is the one who is going through all these experiences. The most fundamental question, the material science, physics, chemistry, biology deals with outside. So it looks at you as a body and you having senses, and it assumes that you are this, like how energy can be neither created nor be destroyed is accepted, and from there it builds. It accepts this fellow as an observer. It makes this fellow as an outside of the phenomena that he's observing. Oh, ball is bouncing. Okay. What is the height from where the ball was dropped? What is the height to which it bounced? So it makes you question all that. It makes you observe all that. It makes you record all that. But the fundamental question, who is the one who is observing all this, is never the main focus of science. It's always about phenomena outside of me. And the me is always this fellow who can be seen, felt, touched. Vedanta looks at this fellow and it goes deeper. Am I truly the body? Am I truly the mind? So it makes you question who is the one who is observing all this. So it therefore is a model of the reality. Because reality cannot be constructed in terms of some pictures and some books. It's a model of the reality. It's like, when you go to an architect and say, I want a new house, they create a blueprint, they create a new model, but that is not the house. Till somebody constructs, it's not the house. It's a model. So like that, Vedanta gives a model to understand, to realize. Because only through incorrect understanding, there is a lack of clarity about who I am. So through clear understanding, deeper realization is the focus of Vedanta. So it's a science of the self.
Even in that statement, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. We have our truth that no birth, no death.
Yeah.
Right? In Vedantic terms, we say no birth, no death.
Yeah.
English and science, you are saying this.
Yeah.
Right?
So you see, the focus of the material science is outward. The focus of the Vedanta is inward. But both are sciences in that sense. And it's Vedanta is a fantastic science. Fantastic in the sense that science helps you remove your hunger for a while. Because only by learning that science, you got a job and you got some money and you could eat and you get married and all that, no? So that science has also helped. But it gives you temporary reliefs. Headache, take an anacin. But Vedanta removes the headache only. Then there is no point in taking anacin.
I felt like even this, when Shankaracharya finished, I don't know the order in which he did this. Maybe I'm thinking like he gave Tattva Bodha, and then when the disciples accepted that is the truth, then he said like, this is my truth, but you have to realize it for yourself. It has to become your truth. Maybe that's where like the Aparoksha Anubhuti came. I'm just thinking like the sequence, right? It's not about me accepting your truth. It has to become my truth. So that when somebody says like, have you seen it? Have you experienced it? Then I cannot say that, no, but I know that my master has experienced it. It cannot be that. Right? It has to become my truth. Right? So I don't know if the sequence was in this way only in the original when Shankaracharya gave it. But
That's a good question to find out, but I am not sure if there is any source, but definitely that's a question
right?
worth.
The Tattva gave the truth. Now the question is like, hey, you know that is the truth, but it has to become your truth. It has to become Aparoksha Anubhuti for you.
So you can understand it in another way. See, look at it this way. Our rishis had a very deep insight about how human mind works. Okay, their biggest contribution to life is their absolute clarity about human mind. When you look at a child doesn't appreciate all the Vedanta words and meanings and others. But they realize that a child appreciates stories, visuals. So they converted the same fundamental science into form of stories and created Puranas. So our rishis, their main concern was only with you and you and you alone. They wanted your well-being, that's all. And to that, they've given a lifelong approach. And they realize that when you will ask Vedanta, see, look at our own group. Who are the people who are sitting here, listen, contemplating on all this? Look at the profiles of these. There is a certain characteristic that enables one to get into this mode. They say, right, the birds of the same feather flock together. So you'll see naturally all the crows sitting together, pigeons sitting together. So birds of the same feather flock together. So there is a certain evolution. So in a way, the master realizes the evolution and gives a step-by-step approach. When this question may come and what is the right way to resolve that question? Deepaji, anything you would like to share? We haven't yet heard Shubhaji.
Yeah. There are three types of experiences: Pratyaksha, Paroksha, and Aparoksha. Pratyaksha is what we can perceive with our sense organs. Then Paroksha, which is not available to the sense organs, it will be either described to me or I have heard about it from someone. Then it is Aparoksha.
1 minute. Even see, Paroksha comes to you through sense organs only.
Paroksha. Yeah, if we are going to watch it on TV, like Rupa said, the snowfall, which I have never seen with never been to such places and seen with my eyes. That is fine, but otherwise I will be seeing it on TV itself. That is how I know about the snowfall, but I have not felt it.
See, the only difference is what you said is Pratyaksha is you are experiencing that thing through your senses, right?
Yeah.
Paroksha is about that thing is coming into you through your senses only.
Okay.
But that thing that you're talking about may not be in front of you.
Yeah.
So, for example, if somebody comes and says, have you seen a rose? little child, if let's say hasn't yet seen a rose, the idea of the rose came into that little child through the sense only.
Yeah.
But then, somebody goes to the garden and brings a rose flower and says, this is rose. Now this child is still seeing and touching and smelling and feeling through senses only. But now the child may say, Pratyaksha, I know, I have seen it. But till then, I've only heard about it.
Yeah, so Aksha actually is used here. Pratyaksha, Paroksha and all.
Yeah,
Mainly the eyes.
yeah.
Then comes
But it is
upper.
not only the eyes. It is not only the eyes.
Smell or hearing.
It's all the 5 senses. Though the Aksha is used, it is not only the eyes.
Then Aparoksha. Aparoksha it is which you have not seen or you have perceived with your sense organs, nor described by somebody else to you, but you have felt it. I mean, it is your deep inner experience. So it is a direct experience of the self. The other words that are used are apperception and intuitive experience of reality. Then, yeah, Aparoksha Anubhuti will give me clarity about self-realization, and that is the reason I have to go with this text, so that I'll get much clarity on how to realize myself.
Mm.
And then Prabhuji speaks about the duality and that the world is divided into subject and object. Like I'm a mother, I is the subject and mother would be the object. So there's a split between this I and mother. So there's a duality here, but all the problems in life will arise because of this duality itself. Because there will be desires arising in me, there will be lots of fear and stress. That's the reason this split has to be, dealt with first.
Excellent.
That will happen only by experiencing the non-duality. So this is nothing but Aparoksha Anubhuti.
And why we should study Aparoksha Anubhuti.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Anything more you want to add, Deepaji?
Nothing, sir.
Shubhaji?
I couldn't go through the video.
Yeah.
But just a gist of what I understood based on what it is. What is Aparoksha Anubhuti? Aparoksha Anubhuti, I would say it's a direct experience of the absolute. Because Aparoksha means oneself, and Anubhuti is to realize or to experience. So it's nothing but the self-realization. So the central theme would be to identify the Jivatma and the Paramatma. And what is the purpose, or why should we study this scripture? If I should. So basically, it is the main purpose would be to study, to realize our true self. Why should we realize our true selves? So that we don't suffer in this samsara, because we are conditioned to use our senses and mind, which in turn makes us suffer in the samsara. So when we realize that is we are above all these things, that is when we ultimately realize ourselves. So these are the main gist of things I would like to say. Because I didn't go through in detail the video. Yeah, video. And one more thing I wanted to ask, sir, is there any PDF on this?
I will share a link to a website that I found, which has a nice shloka by shloka, small pages.
Because I learn with both text and video.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
I'll share the link to that.
Thank you.
That will be great, sir. Because I mean, even Tattva Bodha we had both, no?
It's easier to correlate and understand.
The shloka itself,
Certainly, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll share that. Does Shilpa Kalaji want to add anything? Say anything?
So I did not go through the video. But what I understood in this satsang is, I mean, Aparoksha Anubhuti is self-realization, a direct self-realization which does not involve your sense organs. It's, I think that is probably the stage when you're not attached to your body is, when you are directly, you directly experience the divine. And Vedanta helps us to achieve that.
Can you clarify when you use directly not attached to the body, in what way are you seeing that? Are you saying that from the standpoint of after death, or when there is no body, in that sense?
No, sir. So in the sense, when you realize that, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. So that is, I feel
in that sense.
Yes, sir, in that sense, yes.
Wonderful, Shilpaji. Please continue.
I hope so that's also I could, think about when I was hearing to everyone speak.
And what do you think is the reason why you should study Aparoksha Anubhuti?
So that is, of course, to realize my true self, and and as I'm living my life, to be in that state of mind, so which will help me get through, whatever the stressful days are there, so how do I put it now?
So various turmoils of life to rid of them.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, it will help me sail through smoothly in life, sir, without being, getting attached to materialistic things, to keep a proper balance of my desires and what I want in life, not get too attached to anything.
Wonderful.
So that's all.
Excellent, Shilpaji. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So then let me just quickly summarize our today's thing. I like to do that through pictures. So we have said pratyaksha and paroksha. Pratyaksha is, when that object that I'm talking about is right in front of me, through any of my senses. Though aksha may mean eyes, it is not necessarily only limited to eyes. At the end of the day, there are 5 senses, and the 5 senses are the ones which help me to take that object into my perception. So that is pratyaksha. Paroksha is, I learn about something through something else. But that thing that I'm learning about is not in front of me. It is paroksha, para-aksha, through somebody's eyes. So please understand, opinion about life, politics, cricket,
All Paroksha.
good, bad, everything is Paroksha.
Questionable.
Is always
All our
questionable.
history books are questionable.
All the history books are questionable. Okay. So all the news channels that you view and you have an opinion is also questionable. So Paroksha. Not that it is anything wrong, but just become aware that that is how it is working. Then there is Aparoksha. So Aparoksha Anubhuti is in one way, it's recognition. It is not something new. A pratyaksha could be a new experience. I've never eaten a mango. I ate mango. So nice it was. It's an experience. I've never read that book. I read that book. Oh, what a fantastic book it is. These are all experiences. They come and go. Aparoksha Anubhuti is your ground reality. It is not an experience. It is who you are. Just that it is taken for granted and you've never examined it. So therefore, it is like, a child naturally assumes, my mother loves me. Taken for granted. Right? You've taken the earth on which you're walking for granted. I walk and the earth supports me. You've never questioned. So like that, sun shines always. You've never questioned. Taken for granted. Like that, certain aspects of life are taken for granted. And the most fundamental aspect is you. You've taken yourself for granted. Only thing is, what you've taken for granted, there is a slight misunderstanding, wrong understanding, or false understanding. You've taken yourself granted as a body and mind. So, Aparoksha Anubhuti is essentially when that wrong understanding is removed, what remains is Aparoksha Anubhuti. So, therefore, Aparoksha Anubhuti can be defined in a positive term as non-indirect experience, or rather, in a neti-neti way, it is not that, it is not that. It is not pratyaksha, it is not paroksha. So, it is aparoksha. Look at the beauty of how Sanskrit works and how our rishis have given us a way to point at it. They are not defining aparoksha in a that's why Prabhuji again and again says it is impossible to translate it completely in English. So therefore, aparoksha cannot be defined in terms of it is that. It is aparoksha. It is not para-aksha. Simple. It is not also pratyaksha. It is aparoksha. That's all. It is neti. It is a neti way of describing. It is not that, it is not that. Then what is it? So the moment you describe what is it, you get into confusion. Yes, Padmaji.
Sir, I have a question. In this, you have put the last point as unconditional I.
Yeah.
Sir, can you explain that? Like, why have you put? Because unconditioned is okay. Unconditional means, I mean, why have you used that particular?
It is a pure subject. It is like this. When we make let's say a necklace, we use gold. But can you use gold as is? You cannot. You know that you cannot use the pure gold as is. Pure gold cannot be made into anything.
Anything.
And you add
So it's the like without any without any mix up.
Any mix up, correct, exactly.
Okay, pure.
So the pure you is Aparoksha Anubhuti. Because everything else is contaminated. You're a good mother, you're a bad father. They're all by the role and contaminated by the gunas. So what is the foundation beyond these gunas, beyond the sattva, rajo, tamo guna? What is that? That is unconditional life. Okay. So then of course, why are we studying? We look at life in this duality terms. There is me and there is something else. There is a subject and there is an object. In this picture, the subject is made for a purpose as a very big one. But is that the case? No, not really. When it comes to one little object, it may be so. When I'm looking at an ant, I may look at it this way. When I'm looking at a mountain, my God, the mountain is so huge. When I look at so many other things in the universe, so huge. And in respect to that, I am like this. My God, the world is so big, but I want to hug the world. I want to touch the world. I want to feel the world. I want to consume the world. So, though I may be thinking in my mind like this, but this is like this. So this causes all the tension and the stress. My God, how do I ever make sense of this whole thing? So I keep on experimenting. And of course, my experiences are always lacking. You all know this story. 4 blind men touching an elephant and drawing a conclusion. So my experiences of life are always lacking. I talk about my experience of life only from the viewpoint of what I have felt and seen. The other aspects I've always been missing. So this is my fundamental bondage in life. I am looking at life as I am the one who is experiencing life, and I'm experiencing life because I did that, and I am the one who learned it. So the fundamental reason for all of that is I have to get something out of life. So that desire, innate desire, has caused this doership, enjoyership, and knowership. So I am standing inside that and I am trying to solve the problem. So it is like I am the root of the problem, but I am trying to solve the problem. In Hindi, they say, no, ulta chor kotwal ko date. So the thief is in turn is talking to the police and saying you are wrong. So it is that problem. So what is the way out? That's where the next picture, as long as I continue to look at the reflection and analyze the reflection as though it is real, I am going to be bound. I have to realize that I'm looking at a reflection and I am not the reflection. And the reflection is as an appearance. So the freedom is only by that deep realization that the reflection is not who I am. And I am the one which is there before the reflection, during the reflection, after the reflection. So that recognition, though here for the picture purpose, there is a person who is realizing that. But with respect to you, just take an analogy. An analogy is also limited because we are discussing in the realm of the mind only. So don't go literally with this analogy. Oh, so a person, one day I will realize that as a body and mind, I am not the reflection. No, not like that. So the reflection, your body itself is a reflection, your mind itself is a reflection. And you are not that reflection. So that brings us to the end of all the knowledge. That is Vedanta. That is the essence that all the Vedas are pointing at. Realize your true nature. You are not the one who is reflecting. You can realize through your instrument, but you are not the instrument. You are that eternal light. So therefore, we have to bring a clear distinction between experience and recognition. So the classical story, somebody in dim light saw this and got afraid that it is a snake and was sweating, was palpitating. But somebody took a light and saw, oh, it is just a mere rope. The experiences, I experienced a snake, is an experience. The experience is somebody took a light and shone the light, is an experience. But the recognition that there was never a snake and I was simply wrongly in an illusion is not an experience. It's a recognition, simple recognition that there was never a snake. But my mind superimposed the snake where there was none. So that is the clarity we need to bring. Aparoksha Anubhuti, therefore, it doesn't belong in the category of experience. It is simply a recognition, a systematic process through which you simply recognize that, oh, there was never a snake. The other example we all know, classical. A lady who was wearing a pearl necklace started searching around. I've lost my necklace, I've now lost my necklace. Somebody came and pointed, hey, look, the necklace. So till the recognition time, you can call it as experience. But the recognition itself is not an experience. Aparoksha Anubhuti. There was never a snake in the first place. I've never lost my pearl necklace. So this is where, the question that Deepaji also asked. So this is a systematic process of studying. Not that, you have to study all of it, but it's like once when you experience the taste of it and the wonderful approach that the rishis have taken in it, you simply, as a curious child, you become interested. Not that you're going to gather new knowledge, but wow, look at the magnitude of the vision. Look at the logical approach to this. Oh, this can be explained in this way also. Everybody thought the sari can be worn only one way, but supposedly you saw a Bengali wear a sari, you become, oh wow, I can wear it this way also. Then you saw a Bharatanatyam dancer wear it in a different way. Oh wow, the same thing can be worn in this way also. Then you see a person use that frills and make a nice little decoration. Oh wow, a sari can be used this way also. You simply are becoming wow, wow, wow for every way of explaining, every way of looking at it. So therefore, am I using it to become wow? Or am I also realizing both happen simultaneously? You don't have to worry about it. But it's the wowness. So prasthanatraya, the path to Brahman. Each one is a path to Brahman only. Each one is sufficient. One word is sufficient. One Mahavakya is sufficient. Tatattvamasi is sufficient. But of course, depending upon the condition of the mind, depending upon the wetness of the stick, spark or maybe more cleaning is necessary. So we have prasthanatraya. We have Shruti prasthana, we have Smriti prasthana, we have Nyaya prasthana. So fundamentally, it's all about clarifying this. What I think of myself, what the world thinks of me, are the only two ways I always constantly look at who I am. It's only Vedanta which gives me who I am really. So Vedanta is about bringing clarity to the reality of who I am. Because all my life, I suffer because of what I think of myself and what world thinks of me. What world thinks of me if the world thinks of me as a stupid and ignorant fellow, I suffer that. If I think of myself as a not so good looking or whatever, I suffer that. So the suffering of life is only because of what I think and what the world thinks of me. It's only the reality that can help me to become free from suffering. So therefore, we are taking up scriptural study. It is a systematic step-by-step study so that deep inherent wisdom of this reality which is brought to us by rishis, can be realized to make your and my life meaningful and purposeful. Yeah. Any? Ashaji, you joined. I didn't know when.
Yeah, I joined little late. I have power problem in my area, so I joined late. But with whatever you summarized, I'm just trying to understand. And I have one question.
Yeah.
With respect to the example you said, like the wearing of sari, right?
Yeah.
So with that, is it okay? See, we feel that okay, we don't know the different ways of tying. So should we have that real curiosity or that wanting to know? I mean, are there different ways of tying that sari? Should that be there within us?
Okay, you tell me one thing. It's not something that you have to develop. As a child, you're naturally curious, no? Have you seen a child, again, if the child is brought up normally, have you seen a child who doesn't ask questions?
No, child asks questions.
That is your natural innate tendency, right? So there is no need to quell that, right? And we are not trying to develop something that is not there. It's your natural way. The creativity is your natural being. See, only when you ask questions, you learn something and you create something. Oh, the sari can be used in these ways also. Only when you learn that, you use it, isn't it? So that is very natural to you as a human. So
yeah, right.
here
But
you're
what
just
I'm
allowing
trying
that
to
natural
ask
expression to flower.
Okay, yeah. But what I'm trying to ask is, should we be asking that question which lack, like, say, suppose when I don't have that knowledge, so that will make me also feel sometimes less, right? I mean, with that attitude, should I be asking, or it is our innate thing that it is okay, even if you don't know, it is fine. But you ask question. Is it like something like that?
Okay. This is a great question. Vedanta is not about, oh, I don't know Aparoksha Anubhuti, I don't know Advaita Siddhi, I don't know Brahma Sutra, so I have to learn. No. Vedanta is, there is a deep misunderstanding about the reality of life, because of which I feel a certain lack, I feel a certain inadequacy, I feel I'm not complete. So Vedanta study is not to gain knowledge, but to drop ignorance, is to remove ignorance. So from that standpoint, Ashaji, any one thing is enough. The moment you realize your true nature, then you can clearly see that that is all that is from different viewpoints in different scriptures. When you have eaten one mango, you don't have to necessarily keep on eating 100 mangoes. You've eaten, you know it. That's all. But, somebody may come and say, this is a little more sweet. This is, grown in my farm. And somebody may say, look at the texture of this. So you will simply enjoy it. You will not have a fear. I have never eaten a mango. I don't know what mango is. I feel a lack. I should be eating more and more mangoes. You have no sense of that anxiety driving you. Simply you are now able to enjoy that same different mango, and you are able to simply have fun with it. So therefore there are two viewpoints here. One is, till I feel complete, I use Vedanta study to drop whatever that is making me feel incomplete, to question whatever that is making me feel incomplete, and to remove that. So what we can call as removing of ignorance, or removing of our false understanding. That is one purpose. After that, what is the purpose? Enjoy it simply, the beauty of it, the grandeur of it, the sheer preciseness of it. Because Vedanta, the way each term is defined, is simply a beauty. See, the word Aparoksha, simply a beauty. Paroksha means something that is through somebody's eyes. Aparoksha, not through somebody's eyes. Oh my God, then what is this? It's to seed that deep question and to seed that deep wonderment. What a mind could have conceptualized this. It was not defined in terms of this is Aparoksha means this is it. It was not defined in a positive way. It was defined in a Aparoksha. So simply to be amazed at the sheer mind that has put this together. So like that, you can take your own viewpoints, Ashaji.
Yeah, Vijayji, the one more thing is, say suppose I know about a particular topic, I know something. Okay, I mean I know the right thing, but the quest for knowing other ways, other alternative ways or other kind of methods or something like that. But will that not mislead me again? I mean, in spite of knowing, I have that again desire to know more.
Again, it depends. It depends. So, for example, that is where, what is the role you're playing and why are you seeking what you're seeking matters. Imagine you are a dance teacher. Now, would you ever say that, I've learned all that is there to learn about dance? No, you'll constantly keep exploring. Why? Is it because, you do not know dance? You know dance, but you know that the art of dance is infinite. However, when it comes to Vedanta, so therefore, let's be very clear. Let's understand it very clearly. When it comes to Vedanta, the main object or the main objective, if you have to say it in that way, the main purpose is to help you and me realize who you are, who I am. As simple as that. Now, what is your own understanding? When do you think you have realized that? So there are different barometers or tests that are given. Are you able to remain peaceful and calm irrespective of what is happening in your life? Is it a deep, unshakable sense of inner peace and a deep, unshakable inner sense of clarity? If somebody comes and asks you, have you studied Advaita Siddhi? Do you know Advaita Siddhi? It is said like that. Are you becoming anxious? Or are you able to remain calm and peaceful? As an example. So this is not something that, you and I can answer to appease somebody. It is something that I have to deeply, honestly ask and feel within me. So this is the first and foremost and fundamental purpose of scriptural study. Through that, the misunderstanding can go away and the deep, innate nature can be established, can be realized, can be recognized. If there is still a seeking after that, then it means that is not yet established. But is there a mistake or is there anything wrong in learning other scriptures? So, for example, what is the point for Prabhuji to keep on talking about so many scriptures? He could have simply said, one is enough. No, because the activity that he is involved with, the role that he is involved with is a teacher. Teacher of what? Teacher of self-knowledge. And as a teacher of self-knowledge, there may be somebody coming from Mangalore, somebody coming from Bombay, somebody coming from Paris, somebody coming from different directions to Bangalore. Can he say that, no, all of you have to always come to Mysore and then only come to Bangalore. That is so irrelevant, right? Because everybody comes from a different viewpoint. So to accommodate different viewpoints, he recognizes every way of saying it is okay.
No, Vijayji, like, say suppose, like, what are the parameters you said it is met, and say suppose one is already realized, okay? We know that, or that person knows that you are that, okay? He's already realized. So will that not stagnate? I mean, like, there is nothing more to question, or there is nothing more to know, right? After you knowing that you are that, and you are at that peace, is there anything more required to question or to understand more?
That is correct. That is why it is called Vedanta. But when that has arrived, then there is no more question. Then the discussion will also not happen.
And
Sure,
there
Vijay, you want to
would
make
also
a...
be nothing to know more, right? I mean, we don't seek to know anything more than that or to learn.
Again, you need to understand one thing very clearly. To know and no more learning doesn't mean that you become a vegetable, that you stop learning. No, you realized deeply who you are, and you are no more doing something or learning something to feel I lack that knowledge. Only by learning that knowledge I'll be complete. The trupti, I've eaten completely. My stomach is full. Now I still, my mind and body are still there. What do I put it to use for? So I'll do some meaningful activity. For that meaningful activity, I still have to learn. If the meaningful activity I've taken up is, let's say, I'm a sari shop owner. There is nothing that says that a sari shop owner cannot be a realized being. A realized sari shop owner will now look at how do I sell the saris in the best possible way at the least possible cost for the maximum happiness of people. So therefore, what they do after realization, it just improves. It just becomes that much more meaningful, that much more joyful. Because no more there is a fear or anxiety that is driving their activity of life.
Vijay, I want to make a comment.
Yeah.
Once one realizes the truth, knows the truth, the world that is seen today will cease to exist. But if the world continues to exist, then the truth is not known yet. Which means I cannot know the truth and use that in the world. Either one will be there.
If that is the case, then I think there would also be no realization, right? So if you make that point, Sarvananji.
No, how do you say that the world ceased to exist? It is, we have not experienced it, and no experienced person has talked about this thing, is what I see. Guruji has never talked about in all the talks, he's never said about or any other for that matter. I have not heard about what happens to their world or anything. No one has ever talked about this subject at all, what you are mentioning. How can we say that the world ceased to exist?
Yeah, so the world that attracts me today, that causes me pain today, that world will cease to exist. The world will...
the attraction, see, the attraction that you are having, that may cease. That is the only thing that you can be sure of, right? Because the change is only within you. You are the one who is recognizing how
There is only me.
Yeah, so that's what. So how do you say that the
so after knowing the truth, there is only me.
So
even now there is only us, no, Saravananji. But
so what I mean to say
there are two statements you need to bring into perspective to look at what Sarvanji is saying. There is Tat Tvamasi, you are that. That is a journey to realize who I am truly. Okay, so there is, okay, my true nature is unchanging Brahman. My true nature is blemishless, pure Brahman. My true nature is Satchidananda. So that is the Tattatvamasi. Then the second Mahavakya, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. All that is Brahman only. So,
yeah, so sir, where is the question of after realization? That is what I'm saying. The statement that he made is after realization, the world will cease to exist.
Yeah, after the Aparoksha Anubhuti.
That's what I'm saying.
So today it is Guruji's truth, Vijayji's truth that you are hearing. So the world still exists for you.
So again, the understanding of the world, Padmaji, one is that there is something outside of me which is real.
Yeah,
Okay?
and the separation, right?
And there's a separation. When that separation drops, then there is only Brahman. So in that way of saying, the world ceases to exist. Not that sun will stop rising, ocean will stop functioning. Like we have heard that.
Okay. I didn't say that end of.
That's how
No, I'm not talking about the
was
movies.
my reference, Ramana.
Okay. I'm not talking about
because you said after realization, right? Yeah. So that's how I connected it like that. World cease to exist means that's how I
said cease to exist as it is seen by me today.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah.
So the second point is, I cannot use this knowledge to operate in that world because that world is not there. So either the truth remains or the world remains.
Yeah. Anyway, see, when all the self-realized beings, their life itself is very different. No, they are not into the regular things that that we are all involved in, right? They might be having food, coffee, all these things are there, but the way we see that service bhava, that everyone is one, that thing is not there in us right now, right? To the extent that it is there in them. We might do here and there a little bit seva, charity, whatever we think is charity, but that selfless service, that is I think one of the speciality of all the realized beings.
Yeah. So the point I was coming to is, you cannot use this truth to play in the world. It's over. The world itself is like not there for you, the way you saw it, you are seeing it today. And so like there is no more to impress, to learn, to know more, not see the problems. It's all gone. Everything comes with the package of world. If you take the world as existing, then all these things come with that. But once that drops, then it's gone. Like it's not like physics or math knowledge that you are going to use that knowledge and go and like earn money or get some benefits. Here, like with this is the problem itself disappears.
The ultimate.
Ashaji, has this brought clarity to the question that you raised?
Yeah, kind of. So, like what I mean to say is like there is no such thing like already realized, right? I mean, we can't just define that saying that, okay, I'm realized today.
See, the moment you say, I am realized today, so to who are you telling? You have to tell to somebody, no? See, for example, I got a new sari. Okay, you go and wear the new sari and you show it to somebody. I got a new sari. You tell somebody. So I am realized today. To who are you telling?
No, or for that matter, somebody is realized. I mean, I'm not telling with respect to me.
No. Focus on the question. Let's because this is an important question you brought up. Okay. If you say, I am realized, to who are you telling that?
To self.
You will not taste.
Who are,
You will not
who
say
are,
to
who are
yourself.
you who is telling that to self? So you see, the fundamental thing is to claim self-realization. The claimer, the one who claims, I am self-realized, as long as the claimer is there, it is not self-realization.
But then how do we identify, Vijayji?
That is where the yardstick I gave you. The yardstick is, it's a deep inner sense of peace. Irrespective of the situations of life, you are undisturbed.
Okay.
You have a deep inner clarity about various aspects of life. So again, these are all just guiding lines, okay, guidelines.
Yeah, correct.
But the point is, the concept about self-realization is in who? Right now, is in your mind, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. So therefore, is the concept in your mind a right understanding? Is a question you should be probing. Because what is self-realization for somebody? For example, the other day, one of my friends, she was speaking and she was saying that I think self-realization is only when somebody can go into Jiva Samadhi. So for her, self-realization is somebody who can exhibit some extraordinary supernatural powers. For another person, it may be like, oh, I've read that life of a yogi.
It's all Aparoksha.
And in that, somebody can enter somebody else's body. Then only it is self-realization. Like that, we may be carrying our own conditioning into what is self-realization. So therefore, all these questions are from that viewpoint. So focus on that.
So even defining like what is self-realization is also again limited, and it is pertaining to, I mean, what knowledge one possesses.
Therefore, self-realization can be defined only in terms of neti. It is not that, it is not that.
Okay. And also, like, say, suppose if I'm saying I'm self-realized, it is not. So self-realization, I mean, to understand that is again, you have to maybe only when you can identify in someone else. I mean, it is, I mean, you cannot identify by defining, like, I cannot say and define it.
That is why a living master is important, because only only when there is infinite space, as you keep going, you realize that it is infinite. But if you are going and bumping against walls, you think it is limited. So the wall, the equivalent of that analogy is, the wall is my own conditioning. The ego keeps bumping into the wall and thinks, oh, this is it. But only the presence of infiniteness can the wall drop. And only in that can there be a recognition of who you are not, and by the negation, who you are is pointed.
So actually, it is our basic, I mean, a misunderstanding, right? Saying, suppose that we gather all kind of knowledge, or say some parameters like whichever you said. So based on that measurement, if we are saying we are self-realized, that is again not right, not correct.
So again, this is another.
So we have to go it with the negation kind of thing only. I mean, we can't define and say that we are self-realized.
So somewhere, while thinking process also, we get into this we mode. Okay. So I have gathered, and I have, and I am examining and I have to come to clarity. There is no we in me when I'm examining this question.
Yeah, it's I only.
Because at the end of the day, what I speak, I may say, oh, this is what Amitabh Bachchan said. So I was reading that article. This is what Amitabh Bachchan said. So I am speaking what Amitabh Bachchan has said. But is that the truth? No. The truth is, I read it and I put it in my mind, and it is now me who's taking the position as if it is Amitabh Bachchan and saying it. So I may not completely accurately say. I may have missed the major background, why he is saying what he is saying. But I say it as if it is he who said it. So this is the general way we operate in life. But when it comes to Vedanta,
in that way, when we come to understanding, nothing would be right now, Vijayji, because say, suppose, like you said, Amitabh Bachchan is saying something, and we are interpreting it in our, with our knowledge, like whatever we know. So there is no way that we will be able to say what Amitabh Bachchan has said.
Exactly right. And that is why Vedanta doesn't rely on somebody else's experience. It only always invokes your day-to-day, moment-to-moment experience and constantly asks you, is this right or not? So Vedanta, therefore, you measure it by your own life experience, your own day-to-day experience, not something super extraordinary. It doesn't talk about somebody had a flash of light and he had a revelation from God and therefore he wrote, now you believe. It doesn't say anything like that. It simply asks you simple fundamental questions. How do you experience life? Through your own eyes or through your own five senses or through what somebody else has said about that. Is this the only way of experiencing life? No. There is also Aparoksha, something that is not necessarily said or heard by through someone else. So it is just bringing clarity to your day-to-day experience. So while examining this day-to-day experience, it therefore doesn't rely on you go to the experience of that particular master and therefore it is correct. Never in the Vedanta it is saying that person's experience and because of that this is correct. It is simply constantly invoking your experience. It's constantly probing you.
Then what would be the standard, like say suppose what would be that yardstick to measure that kind of standard thing? The right one for us to understand.
I want to make a comment here. So when I am reading, so Vedanta, when Vedanta is talking about the Brahman, the truth, and the nature of the truth being infinite, there can be no definition at all. The only way to say is not, because only by giving not, you leave the infinite. If I can define it, the moment I define it, it becomes a finite.
So Ashaji, your question is about what is the yardstick? About what? Can you phrase your question clearly?
Yeah. See, we cannot understand what is right because if somebody else has said something and we don't know exactly what is right, but only we tend to say like with our understanding, right? But that's what I think. So Sarvanand answered this. Maybe we can't define it, but only with the negation we have to try to understand like what is the right. The standard. Say suppose when we say that. Maths, we know that 5 plus 5 is 10. So it is 10. So we can't be saying that.
It's a finite.
So because we are taught, we are just saying. But otherwise, when we don't know about that, so how do we get to know like what is the right answer? How do we understand? How do we evaluate ourselves to know what is right? 5 plus 5 is...
Okay. So see, therefore, let's be very clear about what topic we're talking about. If let's say we're talking about the topic of say some situation, some society situation, and you are reading newspaper and you're saying that is how it is, then people will ask you, were you there? Did you see it through your own eyes? No, I read it through somebody else. Then how can you be so sure? All this confusion can come. So therefore, when it comes to knowledge of the so-called phenomenal world, outside world, there can always be a question raised about how you got to know what you got to know. Even though you may have seen it, as you can see in this picture, all these 4 people are seeing it through their own senses, but still each one of them is concluding differently. Somebody is saying this is a snake, somebody is saying this is a pillar, so on and so forth. So your sense perception is used for life-related things outside. However, Vedanta, let's be very clear, the topic of Vedanta is you, the true you. About true you, who really can know more than you? Only you. However, you have been looking at you through a incorrect understanding. So all that Vedanta is doing is negating that incorrect understanding by raising the right question. It's asking, it's giving it's saying, isn't this how you look at life? There is something else you are seeing, and that is what you call as an object. And someone who's seeing, you call it as a subject. Who is that subject really? So like that, it is raising some fundamental questions which are in your every moment of experience. Because the topic of Vedanta is you. Therefore, it doesn't really require anybody else's validation, but your own clarity when the question is asked and when you deeply examine the question.
Yeah, so it is basically with repeated, understanding of why, repeated questioning and then try to understand, right? That's the only way.
Yeah, again, repeated questioning of what? Okay, so, therefore, Vedanta gives you a structure. Okay, so now the first question it is raising is, are there only 2 kinds of experiences in life? Most of us know only 2, Pratyaksha, Aparoksha. It is bringing into our awareness, okay, how about Aparoksha? What is the basis of both these experiences? So again, it is pointing to the subject, the one who is experiencing. Because Pratyaksha, Paroksha are all about experience, object. When we talk about Pratyaksha, I saw the rose, I read the book. The focus is always on the experience, on the object of the experience. But by asking Aparoksha, Vedanta is drawing your attention to the subject who is experiencing this, who's going through this. So like that, it's a science of logic of the human mind through which it is always bothered only about you. That is the topic. So therefore, you don't need any other reference. When Vedanta asks that question, you honestly, deeply examine, and when you honestly, deeply examine, you are your guide.
Yeah.
But of course, the reason why we have to study under competent master is our mind can be conditioned with different questions, different illusions. So to break, we need. But there is no way you are going to ever learn anything from the experience of the master.
It's to become your truth.
On the deathbed, Buddha was there and Ananda was there. Ananda was crying, "Oh, Master, you guided me all along. and you are now going to go away. What will I do? And Buddha, it is said, gave his last teaching. Atma Deepo Bhava, Ananda. Atma Deepo Bhava. Be the light unto yourself. Because you are that light. Realize you are that light.
Yeah, other things are aid, but ultimately, like, I mean, it is me who has to understand.
Correct. All right. So, yeah, we are constantly recording. Deepa can see, and I see some 3 questions are there. Deepa can, Deepa ji, Megha can see. Don't know if she will enjoy watching all this, but she can definitely see. So, who was guiding us with the prayers today?
Padmaji was. I can do the closing prayers.
Yeah.
Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead me from untruth to truth, darkness to light, impermanence to permanence. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamuduchyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, that is complete. This is complete. When completeness is removed from completeness, what remains is complete. When completeness is added to completeness, totality remains complete. Om, peace, peace, peace. Nanu, nanembudu, nanalla, ee deha, manabuddhi nanalla, Sachidanandatma, Shivananu nane, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am not the body, mind, intellect. I am pure consciousness, Shiva Swarup. Atmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Satyadarshanam. Recognition of the self is recognition of the whole. Recognition of the whole is the truth. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiya Mamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiya Mamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiya Mamritat. We worship the three-eyed one who is fragrant and who nourishes all. Like the fruit falls off from the bondage of the stem, may we be liberated from death, from mortality. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy, healthy, and peaceful. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shubhaji, and thank you all. So we'll end this contemplation.